more information on any of this, that's my contact details. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dick. Now for something completely different, as they say. Captain Terry Hughes, Marine Consultant, Working Group Chairman of the Isle of ETS Committee, Conference Rapporteur, and many other experiences and expert proceedings. He's the younger brother of Trinity House. He's a VTS guru. He's going to talk to us about, well, when will we ever learn, which also incorporates some other papers. Terry will explain.
Now you may wonder why I'm wearing this very important hat. It is very important to those local people who support this very important football team. Well done. And I shall make the connection with this hat with my presentation. All will become clear. When will we ever learn? I'm going to take it off, otherwise you'll laugh too much. Consult the oracle before we set sail. There are many factors that will affect your voyage. All these incidents happened in areas where there was either a VTS, VTIS, VTC, you name it, it was there. And the acronym is at the bottom. That's the British Trent, by the way, there's no name on that one. It's the Empress, which we all know about, I hope so. Very embarrassing for the owners to see that in the morning paper. Pasha Balka. This one happened off Norway, Fall City. And the latest one to hit the streets as regards the MAIB investigations is the Mayor's Kendall. 1996, I stood before a similar forum and I showed similar pictures. So what's changed? Nothing much. We're still having accidents. Every day you can look at Google or on the websites and they still appear. The only thing is that ships are getting bigger. So what's going wrong? Let's have a look at a few factors that are probably affecting the mariners. There is confusion on board some ships. Confusion could be because of the different languages involved. Could be a lack or poor training, which will affect competence as well. Sometimes there's no bridge teamwork. We have tigers on the bridge who won't believe in a team. Lack of or poor communications. And of course this can lead to complacency as well. What about the VTS? There are some similar incidents. Lack of or poor training of personnel. This can affect the competence of those personnel and also provide a lack of confidence. Sometimes there is a lack of procedures, which can lead to confusion and creates a reactive forum rather than a proactive one. So let's have a look at this confusion with regards to mariner. Call signs. There are so many call signs around, you wouldn't believe it. And sometimes it's very difficult for the master of a vessel to know exactly what service is being provided by the centre. Is it a VTS or is it not a VTS? Communications. You can very often tell whether or not you're going to get a good response from the ship by listening to the person talking on the radio. Poor communications very often go in line with poor procedures as well. And the SMCP, which is the Standard Marine Communication Phrases, which falls under an IMO resolution, Some people have never heard of it, and yet it's been around for years and years and years. The old name was the Standard Marine Navigational Vocabulary. Decisions on board the ship and decisions in the VTS. This is a big problem. Some people are not used to making decisions. They don't have the experience to make decisions. And this in itself can lead to a reactive role. So going back to these call signs. VTS, port control, harbour control, vessel traffic information, something traffic. So how can you expect the master to know exactly what service is being provided? Everybody is using different call signs all the time. You're either a VTS or not a VTS. We need to make up our minds in this respect. On the VTS side, there is also confusion. If there is a lack of procedures, sometimes the personnel are not sure what status they actually hold. Can they make a decision, or do they need to call someone in to make a decision? Are they a VTS? The management may have not told them what their role is. They may not have a proper job description. Communications also, very, very important in VTS. Communications, the whole thrust of VTS thrives on communications. Once again, SMCP and message markers in particular, you'd be surprised how many people don't either know about message markers, or if they do, they won't use them for some reason unknown to themselves. And communications, do I talk to a ship, do I not talk to a ship? This is the reactive role again. Sometimes there are times when you don't talk to the ship because you know very well they're going to be too busy anyway. And this can happen, and the Mayor's Kendall, for example, in the report, the master said he got so fed up hearing messages continually from the VTIS, as it's called, they just switched off. And they ran aground. Excuse me, there's the message markers. Very important that we use those message markers. They are there to help avoid confusion in the different languages that are being used on bridges of ships and between the VTS. All these incidents, you can invariably say that 95% of them are down to improper or poor communications. Now regarding VTS training, it's very important, I think, that the pilots also have some form of VTS training. In the UK, in London, I'll just use London as an example, the supervisors are pilots. And although they are licensed pilots, they are also licensed VTS operators under the V103 training scheme, and they're supervisors as well. Simulation is very, very important. There are a lot of countries now developing VTSs that have no training facilities, and in particular no simulation. Simulation is a very, very important part of VTS training because it allows you to role play lots of incidents, some of which they may not experience, but if they do experience them, they'll know what to do, hopefully. And human factors, well, human factors covers a huge range of subjects, and there should be a special section set aside on this particular role. There should be information sharing. This is very important. A lot of people are very worried about sharing information. I'm not talking about sharing information which may be private to a particular port or a particular authority. But there are many case studies around. My own website has many, many case studies involved where VTS, where ships have had accidents in the VTS area. And everybody can learn by mistakes. This is what it's all about, it's learning. I believe also that all navigating officers should have a VTS awareness training. We've now, fortunately, IMO have now agreed to this VTS awareness training. It'll be some time, I think, before it gets into STW, but it is a start. I also believe that some investigation organisations also need some VTS training, awareness training. The reason I say this is because you can read some reports and you can tell the lack of in-depth knowledge in the VTS side when you're looking at these reports. It is improving, but it could be better. So once again, Communications. Very, very, very important that we keep this up. And in order to allow lots of nice question time, I'm going to finish very shortly. When